After a few weeks of hiatus, we are finally back here in the 2025 Haas IndyCar Series season. And after our last race out at the Nazareth Speedway for the first time this season, we have seen a change of hands in the points as Tanner Parton has taken the points lead away over the 79 of John Andrews. But Tanner Parton might have a bit of a hurdle to overcome in this race, as we will kind of go into detail a little bit later. But regardless of the fact, we are here at the Kansas Speedway, ready for 52 laps of action here tonight under the lights. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Koch Industries Kansas 125K here from the Kansas Speedway. What's going on, everybody? Caleb here, and welcome to the Koch Industries Kansas 125K here from the Kansas Speedway. Yeah, like I said, it's been a couple weeks here in the IndyCar series, but we're finally back to racing. And that's possible time, too, because Indy 250 is just around the corner now, just a couple of weeks away. And definitely one of the most exciting times here on the channel. But as a kind of a slide to get into it, we are here from the Kansas Speedway, and this is always usually a really fun race to kind of springboard ourselves into Indy 250 week, which should be starting just next week. But, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun here tonight from the Kansas Speedway, and joining me alongside here, we got AG. Thank you so much for joining me here today, and like I kind of mentioned earlier, Tanner Parton, after the last race out in Nazareth, took the points lead away for the first time this season over your driver, John Andrews, but Andrews is coming into this race in a good spot. He's starting in the outside pole position. We also got Justin Zeidel up here as well, and Tanner Parton wasn't a good qualifying session for him. He is starting 30th, last on the field. So, what do you think your drivers need to do to maybe put themselves in a position to maybe go for the victory here at Kansas? And what do you think drivers like Tanner Parton needs to do to maybe try and hold on to that points lead?
Well, the good thing is my two drivers, John Andrews and Justin Zeidel, are already in a good position to win this race, both starting top 10. And this is a race in the IndyCar series. This racetrack, these guys tend to spread out a little bit, and track position means quite a bit, which is not good for Tanner Parton. Though Tanner has had 2 wins this season, only driver to win multiple races so far this year. He got the win at Circuit of the Americas and Nazareth in our last race here in the IndyCar series. And for all these drivers, this is really a bit of a springboard into the Indianapolis 500, Indianapolis 250. Man, I can't even get it right myself. The Indianapolis 250. Of course, this is the last Speedway race before we start with the practice session. The qualifying is next week. We have the Indy Road Course race a week from tonight, but this race is really the last testing ground for these guys before they get onto the big racetrack in Indy in just under a week's time. And if you're Tanner Parton, you know, and all these drivers focusing on that Indy 250 win, they use this race as a bit of a testing session to see how well that 8 machine is, and speed means everything in terms of Indianapolis 250, because that is a race that really falls on track position as well. And of course, we have 3 drivers that failed to qualify for the Indy 250 as well. Going to be bringing in 6 drivers who will be running that race only, or at least attempting that race only. So Tanner Parton wants to make sure he can at least get to midway through this field in this race before going into Indy 250 week. But in terms of holding on to the championship lead, he's got to hope that the guys right behind him in the points standings also have bad days. I don't know if he's really going to be able to work his way through the field too well. But we'll see. 52 laps here at Kansas. It's going to be a lot of fun here on this Thursday night, the Kansas Speedway.
Definitely. We'll just have to wait and see how it all goes down. But yeah, definitely a pretty big springboard into the Indy 250, like you said. And could definitely be a lot of nerve-wracking for some of these guys with the big race and the weeks progressing, or the weeks before, just around the corner. But The future is the future, and the present is now. And we got a 52-lap race ahead of us here tonight. We'll just have to wait and see how it all goes down. Taking a look real quick here, though, at your point standings. Coming into tonight's race at the Kansas Speedway, like I said, Tanner Parton took the points lead after getting his second win of the season last race out at Nazareth. He now sits atop of the point standings over the 79 of John Andrews, who's going to come in 23 points behind Tanner Parton. But if Parton does not have the best day here today, which he's definitely got a bit of a hole to dig himself out of, Andrews could definitely be in a good position to potentially retake the points lead back. But looking further on down the point standing, Zachary Fitzwater, who's had a pretty silent but consistent season so far, comes in third in points, 35 back. Bradley Bradshaw, who won this race last season, have to keep an eye out for him, because he's also starting up here inside the top 10. He comes in fourth in points, 44 back. Brendan Wilmington comes in fifth, 65 back. Chris Reynolds is sixth, 67 back. B.B. Ruiz comes in seventh, 69 back. Bruno Giacomo is eighth, 76 back. Brayton Perez comes in ninth, 79 back. And Christian Vargas will round out your top 10 in points. He is 80 points behind our points leader, Tanner Parton. But we'll have to see how that all will shake out here tonight. We'll just have to wait and see how this will all play out. But I think it's about time we get these guys rolling here from the Koch Industries Kansas 125K. And as they do, we'll take a quick look here at your starting grid here for tonight's race from the Kansas Speedway. Of course, mentioned on the poll, we got the number 39 of Dylan Matthews starting alongside the number 79 of John Andrews. Row 2, we find the number 5, Mr. Edge, Nicholas Sambadio, starting to the inside of one of the GRT Team Velocity cars. That is the 83 of Brayden Perez. Row number 3, we find the 81 of Brad Stover, starting alongside the 07 of Bradley Bradshaw. Row 4, we have the 75. Your other driver, Justin Zidell, starting alongside another GRT Team Velocity car of Logan Williams. Rounding out your top 10, it's a NS Racing lockout here in row number 5 between the 98 of Brandon Wilmington and the 97, excuse me, of Aaron Abel. Making sure everybody rolled off okay. Looks like we are good. Race info will be on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. We got a 52-lap race ahead of us here tonight, the usual 30 entries. And pit window should be around 32 to 38 laps. So we got a pretty wide pit window. So strategy could definitely get really interesting here. Alex, who do you got winning tonight's race here from the Koch Industries Kansas 125K?
I don't want to pick him because I don't want to jinx him. And he's had a bit of a tough run over in the Wall Cup Series as of late. For your team, but I'm going to go with Nicholas Sambadio getting number 31 on the channel leading into the Indy 250. He's going for his third Indianapolis 250 race victory this month of May. And what better place to get started on the right foot than here at the Kansas Speedway, and him getting the race victory for his first win in the IndyCar Series starting from the third position.
Definitely be nice there for Mr. Edge. It's been a pretty rocky season over him for our team over in the Wawa Cup Series, and been a pretty bad season over here in the IndyCar Series. That would definitely be good there for Sambadio. But here we go. Pace car is going to make left-hand turn on the pit road, and coming down the front straightaway is the 39 of Dylan Matthews, and the 79 of John Andrews is going to lead us to the green flag. We're racing here in the Koch Industries Kansas 125K from the Kansas Speedway. Coming off of turn number 4, it's going to be Dylan Matthews leading the opening lap here from Kansas. Brad Stover is actually going to take second away. Side by side for third as Sambadio got shuffled up to the outside. Here comes the 75 with Justin Zidell. Like you said, eventually these guys will all spread out, but it's honestly kind of calamity here early on in the going while everybody is still bunched up together. Parton is immediately going to get down to the inside and try to make up a little bit of ground here in the 8 car. We got 3 wide. We got both the Trackhouse Racing cars and the 88 of Anthony Hernandez. And now Thomas Troxell's going to get swept up in that as well as they come down the front straightaway. And turns 1 and 2, somebody's going to have to give, but nobody does. They're still staying in it. They're still 3 wide as we come off of turn 2. A decent run on the outside for the 88 of Hernandez, and he's going to clear for the time being. But back up towards the front of the field, Dylan Matthews holding on strong with the race lead. Soversold on the second. Nicholas Samadia was able to get back down to the bottom. We got a big wreck in the back. Up and over, we got the 13 of Duncan Ward. Baranowskis was also in the air. And we have a junkyard on the front straightaway.
That was a massive accident, and that's one thing. It's a trouble spot here at Kansas. Those guys going 4 wide off the exit, and I don't want to assume that they were going 4 wide, but I have a feeling that they were, and someone bounced off the wall, and with them all bunched up like that right at the start of the race, something like that was bound to happen. That is not at all what those drivers wanted to see, and that took out over half the field. And that's a tough one. Aaron Abel's destroyed in the 97. Was Tanner Parton caught up in it? He's got a little bit of wing damage, but we'll see. He's gonna gain some spots from that, but wow, that was a wild accident. And thankfully, this is still a video game, and those cars flying through the air are not actually hurting anybody, because that would not have been good.
Yeah, definitely not. But so thankfully, it is a video game, and everybody is okay. But the cars, maybe not so much, as that's probably going to take quite a few people out of contention. 97 of Aaron Abel there with smoke pouring out the back of that machine. It's probably going to be a one-way ticket to the garage there for Aaron Abel, and that is indeed going to be the case. But a big wreck here in the opening stages of the Koch Industries Kansas 125K. We'll take a quick look here at what brought out our first caution of the night, and we'll get you all back to the racing action here from the Kansas Speedway. Looking here, coming off of turn number 4, Aaron Abel's just barely going to make contact there with the 07 of Bradshaw. Going to spin the 07 down the track into the 99 of Max Anderson and the 23 of Jay Knapp. And in this case, what goes down must come up as everybody goes sliding back up the racetrack. Vargas is going to get into Anderson. Ward gets into it with Jay Knapp and gets hit hard by the one of Baranowskis, and that sends both cars flying through the air. Baranowskis even going to catch a piece of the catch fence there, and we pretty much just have a track blocker here on the front straightaway at Kansas. Aaron Abel also goes upside down. See Reynolds there spinning. You've got Fitzwater, Hernandez, Luna Lona, Noah Clifton, Tanner Parton, Jay Knapp, as we mentioned before, Max Anderson, Christian Vargas, Bradley Bradshaw, BB Ruiz. Just a lot of these guys with absolutely nowhere to go, as smoke pretty much just completely engulfed the front straightaway. But an absolute Titanic incident here on the front straightaway, here in the opening stages of the Koch Industries Kansas 125K. But we'll get you all one more replay here at full speed, and we'll get you all back to the racing action here from the Kansas Speedway.
And take a look once again. Bradley Bradshaw and Aaron Abel get into it, and it's just a funnel going into that part of the racetrack. And you see Baranowskis and Duncan Orr get into each other, and they ramp off each other like they're next-gen cars. But yeah, they went flying there. That's just what's going to happen at these speeds. And like I said, not the way these guys wanted to start off, the lead up to Indy 250 week, especially for Baranowskis, who's the defending winner of the Indianapolis 250. But Aaron Abel, he's going to be done. And Tanner Parton's still going to be able to keep that thing going. We'll have to see how his race goes and see if he can hold on to the points lead once we get done with it tonight. But tough break for all those guys. That's just the way it rolls sometimes here. And big wreck here at the Kansas Speedway.
Sometimes that's just the way the cards fall, but unfortunately you have to play the hand that you're dealt. But an early caution here from the Kansas Speedway. Surprisingly, this crash is only going to take out 6 cars, which we will go over in just a second. But with all that being said, Dylan Matthews in the 39 was the one that led the field back to the line. And we will get you all back to the restart here from the Koch Industries Kansas 125K from the Kansas Speedway. Welcome back to the Koch Industries Kansas 125K, wrapping up our first caution of the night for a pretty spectacular accident on the front straightaway. which is going to take Bibi Ruiz, Aaron Abel, Audra Baranowskis, Duncan Ward, Christian Vargas, and Max Anderson out of this race. Still got 24 cars left on the racetrack, all the way back to the 8 of Tanner Parton, our points leader. And maybe restarting single file here will be for the better. But still got a long ways left to go in this race. Have to see how the rest of it plays out. But here we go. Pace car is going to make the left-hand turn on the pit lane. That's going to be Dylan Matthews, Brad Stover, Nicholas Samadeo, John Andrews, and Justin Zeidel, your top 5. As we go back, green flag racing here from the Kansas Speedway. And a good jump there off the start for the number 39 of Dylan Matthews.
I was impressed with what Nicholas did on that first initial run of the race, because he got shuffled to the outside and then came back down to the inside. And he was closing in on Brad Stover there before that caution came out, and he's going to have a shot at getting to the inside of him right here off the restart. And you got Braden Perez there in the Veloster car, and then Logan Williams behind. Logan Williams, is he coming down the pit lane? No, he is not. They kind of tend to hit that apron just a little bit in these Indy cars, and it's kind of interesting the way they get close. But how about this? Brad Stover going to keep Samadea behind him. Going to go for the race lead. Got a first lead change of the night here at Kansas.
And in there for Brad Stover. Probably got a good run there off of turn number 4. Takes the race lead away. Matthews trying to hold on to second, 3 wide behind as Braden Perez tries to go through the middle. John Andrews going to get shuffled out all the way to the outside. You've got Angel Gutierrez, Thomas Troxel making his way up towards the front. Shout out to Thomas Troxel, your defending champion. He's had an absolutely abysmal season so far. Really don't want to jinx him, but really nice to see that 25 car out at the front of the field. But looks like our top 3 might kind of be breaking away just a little bit from the rest of the field as Brad Stover leads Dylan Matthews and Nicholas Samadeo. You got Braden Perez there settling in the 4th position, side by side for 5th between Logan Williams and Brent Wilmington. Good run going here so far for GRT Team Velocitar. You got Avery Alford also looking to make their way up towards the front. Side by side back here between Bruno Giacomo and Angel Gutierrez. And taking a look back through here of some of the cars that were potentially involved in that accident. You got the 88, Anthony Hernandez, maybe struggling to keep up just a little bit. Noah Clifton, Bradley Bradshaw, Jay Knapp, Chris Reynolds, Luna Lona, Zachary Fitzwater, Tanner Parton. Maybe a little bit off the pace, but it looks like he definitely probably got off the best out of everybody involved in that accident as he's moved up to the 17th position since this restart. One more 3 wide here is Angel Oliveira trying to split the middle between Ace Garcia and the 48 of Marcus Glitch. And we got more battling up here towards the front as Samadeo looking to try and take second away. Yeah, looks like things are kind of calming down here as everybody starts to spread out just a little bit, but still got a lot of battles going on here on this racetrack.
Yeah, they're all over the place on this track as well, so they're up high, down low, and there's grip all over the place, too, so you just don't know when you're going to hit it. Brad Stover got passed there pretty easily by Dylan Matthews, and she's pulling away again. Now you got Samadeo in second, Braden Perez there in third, and Nicholas Samadeo is a guy who has definitely had a lot of success in this IndyCar series, a lot of success everywhere, and he's got an opportunity of getting his 31st career win here tonight and extending that lead on Blaine Keys. And we keep on talking about, Nicholas Samadeo versus Blaine Keys. Well, this is one place where Samadeo has an advantage on Blaine. If he can get some wins here in the IndyCar series, a series that Blaine is not a driver in, and actually pull away and keep that top spot in the wins list. And good run there on Dylan Matthews going in the turn number 1, and Nicholas is going to have a shot at the race lead down the backstretch right here.
Got a bit of a twofer there, blocked the inside, defending against the 83 of Braden Perez, and also managed to roll the corner well, got a run on Dylan Matthews. Maybe he had to check up a little bit there through 3 and 4, maybe lost a little bit of grip as Matthews pulls away, and the 5 falls back into the clutches of the 83 of Braden Perez and the 81 of Brad Stover. It was pretty much right up the 83's gearbox for the time being, but Samadeo is still going to hold on to the 2nd position. Matthews tries to pull away once again with the race lead. You've got the 93 of Avery Alford looking to try and get in on this action, as well as the 63 of Williams, and John Andrews looking to make his way back up here towards the front. Another good run here off of turn number 4 for Nicholas Samadeo. Going to defend the bottom once again, maybe also trying to get to the inside of the 39 of Matthews, but Matthews is going to take the line away. Hold on for the lead for the time being. Yeah, now Alfred's kind of in this lead draft Williams and Andrews are trying to close in. You've got Brennan Wilmington up here. Justin Zeidel still hanging on to the top 10 here, and so is the 49 of Angel Gutierrez with Thomas Troxel right outside there in 11th. And we got side-by-side. We got two sets of side-by-side here as Alford tries to go after the 81 of Brad Stover. And Perez there tried to go after San Mateo. Couldn't quite get there, but San Mateo got a good run, and he's going to try to get to the inside here of Dylan Matthews. Might have a battle for the race lead here on lap number 18, coming to lap 19 here at Kansas, but Matthews got a good run there and is going to hold San Mateo off for the time being.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of grip kind of towards the middle lane here, and that's what San Mateo used to get that run on Matthews, but then Matthews used it in turns 3 and 4, and yeah, Brad Stover just getting a little loose there off the exit, and Braden Perez is going to hold on to that position. Logan Williams on that outside lane trying to find some grip up there, maybe get some spots. San Mateo has another run on Matthews for the race lead. Not quite enough there. You got Avery Alford in the mix as well, winner at Riverside earlier this season. Good run for him, but they're 3 wide. How about John Andrews looking to make this interesting there for the 5th position?
Andrews with a big move to the inside, but yeah, like you said, there's grip all over this racetrack, and it looks like right now it might be in the middle lane as Avery Alford got a good run there and is going to hold on to the position for the time being. Brennan Wilmington trying to go around the outside of the 49 of Angel Gutierrez. I am tripping all over myself tonight. But back up towards the front, San Mateo still right on the gearbox there, the 39 of Dylan Matthews. Braden Perez kind of searching around, went a little bit of a higher lane there. Looking for a run on the 5 of Nicholas San Mateo. He's going to get down to the inside as we go into turns 3 and 4 here. And he's going to take that spot away. So move Braden Perez in the 83 up into the 2nd position. Avery Alford still looking to get by Brad Stover here for the 4th position. John Andrews looking to get by the 63 of Logan Williams. Thomas Truxton, 25, has now gotten himself into the top 10, past the 75 of John Andrews. Carson Miller is now up here in the mix. Yeah, like I said, while these guys are spreading out a little bit, there's action all over this racetrack.
It's kind of weird because you have grip in the middle lane, but there's like a part of the racetrack, like 1.5 lanes up, where there isn't any grip. And these guys, they hit that and they lose it all, and Perez got around San Mateo when San Mateo hit that, but Nicholas was able to get right back around it. You got Brendan Wilmington, the top 10 run right now in that 98 machine, trying to get to the outside of John Andrews. Angel Gutierrez, winner of the Indy 250 2 years ago, looking to defend that there with Bernardo de Oliveira's team. Or no, sorry, he drives for Blaine Keys. I'm sorry, but that's a good team to drive for, Blaine Keys, and he's got a good run in this race right now as well. And I know Angel's going to be a threat to win the Indy 250 as well once we get down to it in 2 weeks' time when we have that Indianapolis 250, a little bit over 2 weeks from now. But these guys are shuffling all over the place back in here. But Dylan Matthews has generally been able to keep this 39 out front, but Nicholas and Braden are right there behind her. And these guys are kind of accordion. They get close, they pull away, and then they get close again. We're closing on our cycle of pit stops as well. We're getting past halfway here in just a moment, and that window's going to open in a few laps.
I think we're kind of seeing the draft come into play as, a lot of times we'll have to see drivers check up, but they're able to catch back up with the draft. How about this for San Mateo? Down the inside, coming off of turn number 4. Gonna have the nose ahead as they go into 1 and 2. Matthews gonna try and get that run on the outside, but San Mateo gonna come up and block the 39. Having absolutely none of that, and San Mateo is gonna take the lead away here on lap number 26. Matthews back to 2nd. Here comes the 93 of Avery Alford up into the 3rd position. Your winner from Riverside here earlier on in the season, looking for win number 2, and we're closing in on the 88 of Anthony Hernandez. Could definitely get interesting here. And we'll have to see how these guys maneuver around this 88, because we know how sporadic the grip can be around this racetrack. Hernandez is going to stay on the bottom and kind of block San Mateo there. He's probably not going to like that. He's going to block down the front straightaway again.
Here comes Avery
Alford on the outside. Almost made contact with the teammate of Dylan Matthews. We're 3 wide for the lead, but it's going to be San Mateo who's going to roll the middle and hold on to that 2nd position. Alford trying to go to the outside of teammate Dylan Matthews, and we got both of Echo's cars side by side, but Alford might have entered that corner a little bit too high and got out of the grip lane there, and it's going to fall quite a ways back. Well, it looks like
Yeah,
they're
and you
going
got
to
to be
able to
careful.
maneuver around the 88.
You got to be careful not to actually overdrive it into the corner either, because then there's no grip on the way outside lanes. And man, they've been all over the place. This has been a fun race here at Kansas, and they're the 3 wide again. And lap traffic is just such a big thing in these races, and the lap cars have become a factor in so many of them, especially in the Wall Cup Series. But, Anthony Hernandez is doing all that he can to get as many points as he can. He's not too far off the pace either, especially now he's gotten in the draft. These guys trying to get around him. They're actually bunching up behind this 88. But the Veloster car's kind of have nowhere to go right there. Brad Stover has nowhere to go, and this 88's blocking all lanes, just trying to do all he can. He doesn't really need to do this because he's not around any of the guys he's racing for position. Logan Williams going to get it to the inside of the 88 machine right there. Brain Perez is still stuck behind that 88 of Anthony Hernandez. Here comes Brendan Wilmington for position.
Our top 3 have absolutely gapped the field once again, as it's now Sam Adio and the 2 Evans-Ross racing cars out in front. And got Brain Perez a little ways behind. Logan Williams a little ways behind Perez. Tried to get to the outside of Stover there, but now is under fire here from the 98 of Brendan Wilmington. John Andrews still hanging around up here. Same for the 75 of Justin Zeidel. Ace Garcia right now runs out the top 10. And Tanner Barton got a piece of that accident, but he's still holding strong, and he's still making up some spots here as he's kind of starting to mix it up a little bit here with some of these guys right outside the top 10. As last time by, he was scored in the 15th position, but I think he might have passed a car or 2 since then. We'll have to see as they come back around, but so far, a decent recovery run going here for the 8 of Tanner Barton, as right now he sits in the 15th position. But he's got a lot of his championship contenders running up front, including the number 79 of John Andrews. Now under fire from his teammate there, the 75 of Justin Zeidel. Tried to go to the outside. Couldn't quite get to the outside of his teammate, but he was able to hold off the 27 of Ace Garcia for the time being. But Sam Adio, he's still holding strong out front. That 5 car definitely has a lot of speed, but so does the 39 of Dylan Matthews, and we saw that earlier on in the race. And Avery Alford, they've done an amazing job moving their way through the field. We know all these cars got speed, but we'll just have to wait and see how the rest of this race plays out. And we got pit stops happening right now.
Yeah, and we'll see if the undercut ends up working out for Dylan Matthews in the long term, because she was losing a little bit of time there to Sam Adio in that run, and do something different to have an opportunity of winning this race, because it's not a race where you're going to see these guys just move through the field, and that has not been the case. A lot of these guys running up front started up front as well. I don't imagine Nicholas is going to let these guys go too long here, but of course, you always got to watch out for the caution during the pit cycle. I don't think we're going to get that here, but always got to be careful, and I know that's on all these drivers' minds. Is Sam Adio the only one coming down that time? Well, at least up front, at least. But John Andrews there, Justin Zeidel, both down the pit lane as well.
Out for the 93, maybe trying to go a little bit long here. Same for the 63 of Logan Williams and the 98 of Brendan Wilmington. We'll have to see if this undercut will give Dylan Matthews the advantage here. As then all these guys come down, led by the 5 of Nicholas Sam Adio. There goes the 83 of Braden Perez, who might have had a little bit of a slower stop compared to the likes of Dylan Matthews and Brad Stover, because Perez was up there in the thick of it. We'll just have to wait and see where everybody cycles out. There goes the 5 of Sam Adio out of the pit lane. And I would imagine everybody else should be coming in this time by. Let's see. There's the 93 of Avery Alford, and just about the rest of the field. So that should be everybody down the pit lane. Here's Sam Adio merging on the back straightaway. He's going to come out ahead of the 39 of Dylan Matthews. John Andrews looks like he might cycle out here into the 3rd position. Brad Stover 4th for the time being, and Zeidel rounding out your top 5, but we'll have to see where all of these guys come out, because I think they stayed out an additional lap. So we'll just have to wait and see. Like I said pre-race, the pit window is pretty wide here, so we'll definitely see a lot of strategies play out, and I think we're seeing that here right now. We'll just have to wait and see, though, where everybody cycles out after everything is said and done.
Yeah, Nicholas Sam Adio is probably in the best spot right now. He's got a pretty good advantage on Dylan Matthews, and going to get an advantage on all these guys that just came down and stayed out a little bit longer. And with only 15 laps left in this race, those who did do the undercut and came in that first set are going to be at the advantage on the tires. And I don't think the tire wear is too significant here either. So Nicholas is going to cycle out to the race lead. And this is a great run for him. GRT as a whole in the IndyCar series has not been doing good. Let's just put it that way. And Brian Perez has had an all-right season. But Nicholas Samedeo, Jay Knapp, they've kind of struggled, especially Samedeo is 27th in the points coming into this race. And that's the thing about it being an equal rating series. If this was a series where the owners were affecting the ratings, those GRT cars would be up front every single race, especially when they got someone like Nicholas Samedeo driving their cars. And been a tough race for some guys, but it's been a good race for the GRT camp. And you had both the Velocitar cars running well here tonight, and then Nicholas Samedeo looking to possibly get his first win of the season. But Dylan Matthews might be closing in here in this 39. We may have a battle for this race lead in these last 13 laps.
Definitely might see it. I think it might come down to these two unless something crazy happens. Which, I mean, judging by the wreck we saw earlier, I think something crazy could definitely still happen. But yeah, Matthews is closing in on the 5 of Samedeo rapidly. Matthews has got the draft on that 5 machine. Has now closed right into the back bumper of that GRT number 5 of Samedeo. Samedeo, though, got a good run there through turns 1 and 2. Going to hold on for the time being. But time is starting to run out here from the Kansas Speedway. This time by, it'll be 11 laps to go. Samedeo tried to open up that gap a little bit to the 39 of Dylan Matthews, but we'll have to see if Matthews can catch back up with the draft coming into play. And up ahead, this could definitely get interesting. We've got Nicholas Samedeo's teammate, the 23 of Jay Knapp. So we'll have to see if he potentially becomes a factor here in this finish, but coming around to 10 laps to go. Samedeo still out front, but he's got a mirror full of Dylan Matthews right now.
Yeah, and this could be a close finish. And you know who tends to have an advantage in these close finishes? You know why he's called Mr. Edge? You know, he won Chicagoland a couple of years ago in the IndyCar Series in the closest finish of that year. I think that was 2023, so this is definitely the kind of race Nicholas Samedeo can win. And Dylan Matthews, she's a great driver. She's definitely done an excellent job this season with Evans Ross Racing. Got that win at Willow Springs. This is very different than Willow Springs here. Really, one of our first, outside of the opening race at Auto Club, really one of our first high-speed ovals that we've had this season. And we'll see a few more of these mile-and-a-half racetracks. We'll be going to Chicago later on this season, so excited for that. But we'll have to see if Dylan Matthews has anything on this 5 machine. But regardless of the fact, if you're Nicholas, you're Dylan, you really like the speed out of your cars going into Indy 250 week next week, and excited to see how it all ends up shaking out for these guys here in these last few laps, especially with Samedeo's teammate just in front. We saw the lap traffic was the last time. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
This is going to be close.
Samedeo going to get down to the inside there, coming off of turn number 2. Matthews looks like she's going to follow suit. That did kind of close Matthews in just a little bit, as it kind of caused our top 2 to check up just a little bit. And then up ahead, our next lap car will be the 07 of Bradley Bradshaw, but I don't think they'll catch him. If they do, it might be pretty close, but Matthews is all up the gearbox of the 5 of Nicholas Samedeo, looking to try and find a way around, but Samedeo trying his hardest to defend against this 39. It's definitely shaping up to be an exciting finish here from the Kansas Speedway. Matthews still just kind of hanging in behind the 5, maybe trying to sniff a little bit of the draft, but Matthews had to check up there through turns 1 and 2. Matthews is going to have to regroup here if she wants to have a shot.
Yeah, Nicholas is a very smart driver. He's gotten the 30 wins for a reason, and he's got an opportunity getting number 31. And another thing, this is something I haven't mentioned too much. Nicholas Samedeo and Zachary Fitzwater, they're the only 2 drivers who have won races in every single calendar year of racing on the channel. Neither of them have yet to win a race in 2025. Nicholas is trying to do that and keep that streak alive. To be 11 straight years of wins on the channel if he can get this one here tonight.
Well, look at this. Samedeo trying to use Bradshaw as a pick there. And Matthews almost made contact, but that caused Matthews to get out of the gas there quite a bit. And Samedeo is going to open up the gap there just a little bit, as this time by, it'll be 3 laps to go here from Kansas. Matthews might have the time for one more good run here, but Samedeo was able to open up that gap there with the 39 checking up to avoid getting into it with the 07 of Bradshaw. John Andrews in the 79. He's moved his way up to third, past the 93 of Avery Alford. Brad Stover right now rounds out your top 5. You got Brent Wilmington up here, Ace Garcia, Carson Miller, Justin Zidell, and Thomas Troxel looking to close out a good run here from the Kansas Speedway. And a couple drivers kind of low in the point standings, having good runs here tonight, which is awesome to see. Here we go, coming to 2 laps to go. Matthews is trying everything she can to maybe get one last good run formed up. Closed in a little bit that last time by, but really needs to reel in this 5 car as we're coming to the white flag this time by.
Yeah, Nicholas Amadio's done an excellent job in this race. The pit crew did an excellent job. The strategy was right, and hey, 1 lap to go. We'll see. Dylan Matthews does have one more chance at getting to him here. We'll see if she can pull it off here, but it's the white flag for Nicholas Amadio, looking for number 31.
White flag for Nicholas Amadio and GRT. Amadio looking for win number 31 and his first win this season here in the IndyCar Series. Matthews just trying to reel him in. She might have one more shot here through turns 3 and 4. But it doesn't look like she's going to get there. She's going to get close, but it's going to be Mr. Edge who's going to edge out Dylan Matthews for the Koch Industries Kansas 125 victory.
Number 31 on the channel. So that's 2 more ahead of Blaine Keys and Zachary Fitzwater. How about that for Mr. Edge? Nicholas Amadio getting it done for Groton Autosport here at Kansas, and he was 27th in the standings coming in. It's probably going to be a little bit high. He doubled his amount of points in this race. He doubled it. Great run there for Nicholas Amadio and those guys, and that's exactly the momentum they want going in the Indy 250 week next week. The one more road course race to go for those guys, but that's definitely a lot of speed in that 5 machine. We'll have to see how well he is once we get to Indy.
Just have to wait and see, but definitely some very positive momentum going into Indy 250 week for Amadio and Groton Autosport. And nice to see Amadio get that win. It's been a tough season all around for Amadio and Groton Autosport as a whole. But great stuff there, getting the win here from Kansas and getting win number 31 here on the channel. Awesome stuff there for Mr. Edge. But what a race here from the Kansas Speedway. Taking a look through your finishing results here from the Koch Industries Kansas 125K. It's Nicholas Amadio who's going to be going to victory lane. Dylan Matthews gave a great effort, but is just going to come up short there in 2nd place. John Andrews, a great run there in 3rd. Could be good for him in the points. We'll have to see how everything shakes out. Tanner Parton, considering he got involved in that earlier accident, I'd say a decent day here for the 8 of Tanner Parton. A good recovery there. He's going to come home in the 16th position. But looking further on down your top 10, you got Brad Stover coming home in 4th. Avery Alford rounds out your top 5. Wilmington's going to come home in 6th. Ace Garcia 7th. Carson Miller 8th. Justin Zidell 9th. And Thomas Troxel, your defending champion, is going to round out your top 10. He came in this race 29th in the point standings. That's going to be his first top 10 on the year. Maybe finally something going Troxel's way, and that could definitely get some momentum going as we go into the rest of the season, as well as Indy 250 week, which will be kicking off, I believe, just next Wednesday with Indy 250 full-time practice.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Definitely looking forward to Indy 250 week. Got a lot of fun stuff planned. It's going to be an awesome time. But
as it always is.
As it always is. It's always a great time here on the channel. And once again, we are going to have a lot of fun. But final thoughts, Alex. What'd you think about the race we saw here tonight, here from the Kansas Speedway?
It was definitely a fun one. Hey, I got the pick right. I did not jinx Nicholas Amadio. That's kind of that's kind of a strange one there, but I had a good feeling about him in this race and where he started. And he's Nicholas Amadio. He's going to get one, and he is right now the only driver who has won in every calendar year of racing on the channel, 11 straight years, which is definitely an impressive feat for him. And this is actually right around the time 10 years ago when he won that first race in the Daytona 500. About 8 days removed from that. That was May 1st of 2015 when it all started for him. But awesome to still have him winning races on the channel, and he's going to definitely be one of the top names we talk about next week. in qualifying for the Indy 250 and then going into the race. Assuming he qualifies, Thomas Trossel failed to qualify one year, and we all know how that all went for him. He didn't even get a lap in qualifying, but excited for it next week. And hey, excited for tomorrow night, too, because we've got another race here at this racetrack. We got ourselves the Great Wolf Lodge 400 in the Wawa Cup Series tomorrow night, and that's a good race. You definitely want to watch it, so great job, Caleb. Great job, Nicholas. I don't know why I say great job, Caleb. You always do a great job. Great job, Nicholas, and Grattan Autosport here tonight at the Kansas Speedway. A fun one here, and looking forward to next week with these Indy cars on the big Speedway in Indianapolis.
It's going to be an absolute blast, but what a race here from Kansas, and what a win for Nicholas Samadeo and Grattan Autosport. But, see, next race here in the IndyCar Series will be the NTT Data Grand Prix of Indianapolis. That'll be going up on Thursday, May 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And, of course, like I said, the day before that, May 14th, you've got Indy 250 full-time practice. Make sure to check that out. As well as later that evening, you've got the Lucas Oil Grand Prix of Indianapolis in the CSX Indy Light Series. The race also ought to be a lot of fun, so make sure you all check those out, as well as the Cup race tomorrow. Like I said, it's going to be a lot of fun over in the Wawa Cup Series here from Kansas as well. But with all that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and a huge thanks for AG joining me up here in the booth. Once again, congratulations to Nicholas Samadeo for winning the Koch Industries Kansas 125K, and we will see you all from Indianapolis. So, that being said, you all take care, and have a good one. Here is your point standings after race number 7 on the season.